What's going on everyone, TomGorian, and welcome back to another episode of the F1 2020 career mode with XVI Highland Racing, otherwise known as my team. Today we are here for the fourth round of the Season 3 Championship, here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Baku. Of course, the real life Formula 1 race happened over this past weekend, and I thought why not give you guys a video, since the real life Baku race was actually good, let me give you another one. So today we're here for Baku for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. That is the championship standings. We are currently off of a win in Zandvoort. Believe it or not, we've got two upgrades coming. I have decided to go for a front wing upgrade, and we're also going to go for a drag upgrade. I think we've got most of the chassis one done. We only need three more, four more, two more ultimates and two more minors. As far as the weather, it's going to be cloudy, but we have a major qualifying problem. It's time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Nick de Vries lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Hamilton, Perez, Daniel Kvyat, and Gasly, Sainz, Stroll, Ocon, and Daniel Ricciardo, Norris, Joe, Charles Leclerc, and Albon, Verstappen, Thomas, and
after the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Well, where the hell do I begin with this qualifying report? Obviously if you watch my videos, I do 3-stage qualifying. Did Q1 and I was P1 by 6 tenths, so I'm expecting to go into Q2 and it goes and sends me into the race. And now we're literally starting 16th. Don't ask me why I didn't skip Q2 or Q3. Literally, I went to enter the next session and the game just simulated both Q2 and Q3, and now we're literally in no man's land because Baku, you don't want to be starting anywhere near the midfield in Baku because, especially on simulation damage, and that's what we're running with today, simulation damage. And yeah, my original thought for the strategy for this race was to go on the mediums and then go on the hard tyres going to the end of the race, but you'll see later on in this video why this strategy going on the softs to the hards was the best strategy for this race. Another thing that really makes this video weird is that my teammate and my championship rival are first and second, so yeah, P16 in Baku and your championship rivals are literally on the front row. Yeah, it's not where you want to be. The game has once again screwed us, and now we have to make an actual good video out of this race. So yeah, 30 likes for this video. Season 3's been mental so far as the racing, and yeah, this is going to be the final season of F1 2020. But yeah, anyway, starting on the soft tyres, Huber, Matsushita on the mediums, so is Albon, and Verstappen is on the hards in that Ferrari. So pretty much for this first stint of the race, we're going to be surrounded by the slowest cars ever as we attempt to catch up to Nick de Vries, Lewis Hamilton, etc. But here we go, getting ready for 5 red lights for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and it's lights out and away we go. Albon has had a terrible start there on the mediums, and yeah, turn 1 is very cautious. Lando Norris, they're going very slow. Daniel Ricciardo as well. Someone's behind us, and Norris as well will go down the inside in towards turn 2. And yeah, we're on the apex there a lot there. Now it's a drag race between me and Lando Norris in the McLaren, and as you can see, Lando Norris wins as we head in towards turn number 3. We're going to outbrake Lando Norris, send it down the inside, lock up there on the front left, and that is position 13 in this race. We're going to try and get through the midfield as quickly as we can, because the less damage that we do, or the more positions we gain in this first lap, the less damage our race can become. So we're going to try and overtake Daniel Ricciardo. I don't know why Daniel Ricciardo is going slowly here. as we now move on towards the end of the first lap. And as you can see, Charles Leclerc on the hards there. Our teammate Nick de Vries has set the fast lap of the race. We don't have DRS, but that's not a problem. We run out of DRS as we begin lap 2. Open up the slipstream on Charles Leclerc. Round the outside we go. Track extend a little bit on the curb, and we get the move done for P11 in this race. A lap later, we're all over the back of Guan Yu Zhou in the AlphaTauri, and you know, this part of the track is very, very difficult. We get the switch back on him. Obviously we have the soft tyres, and in just under 3 laps time we are already in the points. So the most of the damage has been undone thanks to that you know, weird qualifying. But yeah, now this is where the real problem begins. We've got Ocon, Stroll, I think that's another Ferrari. Is that another Ferrari? I think it's a Renault, I'm not sure. But yeah, Ocon in the Renault. A bit of a train here. And then that's, yeah, that's Danny Kvyat and also a McLaren of Lando Norris. Down the inside we go on Esteban Ocon for P9 on lap 4. And yeah, the more positions that we can do on these opening laps, the better our race can be, especially if we want to catch Nick de Vries, Lewis Hamilton, you know, those guys pretty much. But now on lap 5, trying to go round the outside of Lance Stroll in the Racing Point, soon to be Aston Martin for F1 2021. Round the outside we go, and that is P8 in this race. And as you can see, Daniel Kvyat is getting held up there by Carlos Sainz in the McLaren. It feels weird saying Carlos Sainz in the McLaren now. I'm getting used to him in the Ferrari. So weird seeing him again in the McLaren. But now, as you can see, I didn't think... Now, I thought I was going to get held up by this little train, so I decided to pit, and then Nick de Vries was in, so I didn't want to be held up. And yeah, that's when literally I decided to stay out. A double overtake there. Danny Kvyat goes into the pits, and we overtake Carlos Sainz. For net P3 only, Sergio Perez and Lewis Hamilton are ahead of us. And then 1 lap later, lap 7, beginning of lap 8, we're going to come in for our one-stop strategy from the soft tyres to the hards. Now, I will say this strategy, yeah, was pretty much perfect, yeah, because of what you'll see later on in this video. If I went medium and hards, I don't think what would have happened. But I'm not going to spoil anything until later on in this video. But anyway, lap 8, we're in P17, and I'm thinking to myself, oh boy, this train was ridiculous. You got Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Hubert, all the back, you know, marker cars in this massive train, and it's just so hard to overtake, especially with, you know, how pretty much non-effective slipstream is in this game. You know, I don't know about league racing, but in, you know, career mode with DRS and ERS and slipstream, it's just not enough, and you're just gaining little by little every single, you know, mile of road. And as you can see right here, Anton Hubert, I'm barely gaining on him, and I'm only gaining on him because of the slipstream of Matsushita, as I nearly ram him in the back of the Haas for Matsushita. Down the inside I go on the Haas, and that is P12. And I think I'm going to make one more move on Max Verstappen. He goes defensive for some weird reason. Around the outside we go towards that little chicane, and that is P11 for this race. So now going on towards lap 18, we're pretty much nearly in the top 10 now. Nearly using the back end there, but we're going to try and get George Russell in the Haas. We're going to dive from him down the inside. We go lock up on the front left, and there is a move for the top 10. So now we're beginning lap number 12, and as you can see, that's Valtteri Bottas in the Mercedes. And no, this is not real life, this is F1 2020. Valtteri Bottas in 9th place in a Mercedes in Baku. I cannot stress this enough. Was Bottas playing F1 2021, my team or something, or career mode? What was he doing? Because in real life he underperformed. He finished in 10th. Well, he didn't actually. No, he finished in 12th actually. And now Bottas is in 9th, and his teammate is literally fighting for the win. But anyway, round the outside we go on Valtteri Bottas. We nearly touched the wall there, and that is an absolutely sensational move on us there. The track was pretty much narrowed. Watch this again on the TV replay right there. Around the outside we go. We're on the apex there. He gives us just enough room, and we're so lucky we had to mount that apex there to not pretty much crash into Bottas or the wall. We were centimeters from crashing into that wall there, and that is, in my opinion, one of the best overtaking moves I've done on this game as far as this little series has done. And I've had some pretty, spectacular overtakes on this game, I will say. Thumbs up the video for that overtake. Centimeters between the wall and pretty much your rival car in Valtteri Bottas, and you're on the curb as well. Anyway, back on track, lap 15, down the inside we go on Pierre Gasly. He had a great race as well in Baku, didn't he? P3 in this race. And speaking of P3, lap 20, we have now caught up to the front runners, Nick De Vries and Lewis Hamilton as well. Lando Norris, I think, was in P4 and he had to pit, so that put us into P3, and now we're trying to overtake our teammate and Lewis Hamilton, and there is a safety car once again. And this is a constant. If you're playing bingo, there's a safety car. Tick that box off, because there's a safety car in another episode of the F1 2020 My Team career mode. And if you predicted that, then well done. Well done. Go and get yourself a cookie from Subway or something, because you are correct. Now, this is the most important thing. I was thinking, if I stay out, I'm not going to have enough grip to catch and overtake Hamilton and Nick De Vries, because I was gaining enough time in Sector 2. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to pit for the medium tyres. Now, you're probably thinking, why not soft? So there's only like three laps to go, racing laps. And probably, but in my opinion, I think the second half of this stint, the tyres would have went off, and the softs wouldn't have been the best tyre to use anymore. But this is the most important part of the race. I get past Guan Yu Zhou, and I'm only behind Sergio Perez, so I only lost one position. So now, with the safety car restart, literally my teammate and Hamilton they're only a second up the road, or less than a second, like probably 8 tenths, and I'm literally only behind Sergio Perez with roughly 4 laps to go during this race. So we're on fresh mediums, and everyone else, apart from Guan Yu Zhou and Lando Norris, they're on fresh softs, but they're like 2 lap old fresh softs. But anyway, the restart is about to get underway once again here in Baku, and green we're away for Baku. Down the inside we go on Sergio Perez, and that is an easy move for us there. We're already in P3 and we haven't even entered the second sector. Now all eyes are on our teammate and Lewis Hamilton. If Nick De Vries can't pull off the winning move, then I'm going to have to go for it and try and win this race. I mean, listen, we entered the pits in P3, we came out P4, and now we're back in P3. We have the tyre advantage, we have the grip advantage, we're gaining so much time in the second sector, we get a great exit there. It's going to be us versus Nick De Vries side by side into the castle section. Someone has to give way, and Nick De Vries gives away right there. It's P2 in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Now, it's the final lap of the race. The intense music is playing right now. Mercedes versus XVI Highland. Hamilton goes defensive. We both have the Mercedes engines. We've got the ERS. We're going to go round the outside. It's the final lap of the race, but we just have too much traction and too much grip, and we take the lead of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and Nick De Vries is also ahead of Lewis Hamilton, but there's still that main straight to go. So I'm thinking, at the end of this lap, I'm going to give him slipstream, not too much in case he has a charge at us, but just enough so he can hold on Lewis Hamilton towards the end. But as you can see, I think I slowed down too much because he's coming. Going through the fast curves right now and onto the main start straight. This race is not over yet. He's literally 5 tenths behind us. Will he gain us? Will he gain on us? I don't think he is. Rich overtake and the DRS for him, but it's not enough. We win the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It's back-to-back victories for us.
Just amazing. Well done.
And so ends another Azerbaijan Grand Prix, a fascinating race and a well-deserved victory. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Well, Crofty, this was won through an abundance of speed and an abundance of skillful overtakes. Inside, outside, cutting underneath, we saw it all today. And it's really nice to see a Grand Prix won in that manner. A race, surely, that will satisfy the purists today, I think.
Welcome then to the podium, our top three drivers. What a great effort from them today in a very difficult race.
Another race, another epic last lap battle. This time we came from 16th on the field, 16th on the grid, pretty much on the soft tyres, got through the traffic, got through the back markers, catch to Nick de Vries and Lewis Hamilton. The safety car really helped us, so we could have pitted then on the mediums, and we only lost position to Sergio Perez, and that was it. I mean, if we would have lost that position to Guan Yu Zhou, that was literally race over then, because it would have been one extra lap, overtaking that car, and then Perez, and then trying to have a go at de Vries and Hamilton. But literally, a last lap overtake to win the race in Baku, starting from P16, and also it's an XVI 1-2 as well. And as you can see, we've extended our lead to the top of the championship. 44 points is now the gap between me and Lewis Hamilton. Nick de Vries is in 4th as well. And we take the lead in the Constructors' Championships as well. Racing Point are now in 3rd place. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. Another intense F1 2020 My Team video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe. What a race. And I'll see you all in the next video. Like the video, and goodbye.